Okay, this is a reaction video, a random fact that only you know because of your job. I have not seen this one, so I'm kind of interested to see what this one brings us. So, random fact only you know because of your job.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
Or your weird specific job.
Remember the ball pits?
Yep.
Every week or so we had to take them out and clean them. How we did this is we took all the balls out and we put them into a mesh bag, and then we strapped it on top of a car and drove it through the car wash. And
That's an interesting way of doing
that's
it.
how the balls are washed. After that, the cast members would be sent in the empty ball pit to pick out old socks, whatever else may be in there.
Hey, what's a random fact
Well, that's one way to do it.
that only you know because of your weird specific job?
I permanently remove hair. I'm an electrologist. This is a very old method of permanent hair removal, but it is the only FDA-approved permanent method. My fact is that your hair growth cycle is 16 weeks long. So if you have plucked a hair or gotten your hair threaded or waxed anywhere, and you think the next week, oh my gosh, all that hair is coming back, it's not. The cycle is 16 weeks. So when you take that hair out, from start to finish, it'll be 16-week growth cycle. I won't see that hair for a really, really long time. And you think that you have to keep getting waxed all the time because it's those same hairs growing back in.
Well, I don't have my hair waxed. I never had my hair waxed, but this is rather interesting information. You don't have to do it every 16 weeks, but they probably don't tell you that.
Or you're getting threaded all the time because it's those same hairs growing back in. It's not. You really have that much hair. You really do. And you have enough hair for it to grow in every week at a new crop. That's how much hair we have.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
Pearls are really just oyster boogers. They get something inside that irritates them, so they secrete a mucousy liquid called nacre to cover up the irritant, and they keep covering it and covering it and covering it till that oyster booger gets so big that we call it pretty, pull it out, put it on a strand, and then women wear oyster boogers around their neck.
Well, if you've ever bought your wife or your girlfriend or somebody's walking around with pearls, you can walk up to them and say, those are a nice collection of oyster boogers that you have on. They look really, really nice. I'm sure she's going to appreciate it.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
The discarded grease from McDonald's gets sold to Maybelline and used in their liquid foundation.
I did not know that. You know, when I worked at McDonald's, I remember them taking the grease and putting it into a bucket and throwing it out. It would go into the freezer till it would freeze, and then they would throw it out. I didn't know they sold it to Maybelline. But hey, like the previous guy said, the more you know.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
The reason banks are so rich is because they make their money off of us.
Yeah.
So when we open up,
when you open up an account and you put money in there, they take that. It doesn't just sit in a account that has your name on it, but it's invested, and they make their money from their investments. That's how they make their money. They're a business.
checking our savings account and we get maybe 1% interest annually if we're lucky, they're taking our money and investing it for way higher return. So they get rich on our backs while they pay us a fraction of what they're making off of us.
And we know that going in, and that's, look, I'm not defending banks, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that's something, that's what, if people ask why, like some of the banks have high interest savings accounts by putting X amount of dollars in there, it's because you put X more money in there and they're going to give you a higher return. But yeah, they're going to be making money. They're a business. That's what they do.
And then in 2020, Congress passed a law that now permits banks to invest our money in what's called venture capital. Venture capital is the sector that invests in tech startups, and it's notoriously racist and misogynistic. So banks can take our money invested in notoriously racist and misogynistic assets.
So basically what she's telling you is that banks are sitting there and go, this is very misogynistic and this is very racist. We're going to put our money there because that's going to look good for us. Because people, that's what we do. We want to find the most racist company or the misogynist. We got to find the racist company and put our money there. That's where we're going to make our money. That's 100%. Yeah, there we go.
The classes.
And it was a Congress who made that possible. The democratically controlled Congress, mind you. Okay, just want to make sure we get that correct. Okay.
And get even richer. Thankfully, there's a way to make a lot more interest than what a bank would pay you without having to deal with a bank at all.
Yeah, it's called cryptocurrency. And I'm guessing that's where you're leading us to.
It's called DeFi, or decentralized finance, and it's built on top of the technology behind the Ethereum crypto network.
Right, okay.
So Bitcoin's the number one cryptocurrency. Ether's the number two cryptocurrency by market cap. DeFi sits on top of Ether. With Ether,
yeah, and I do like cryptocurrency. I have a little investment in cryptocurrency, and yeah, I whatever she's talking about prior, I'm not going to get into any of that stuff because I'm not sure about it. I did work for the bank, but I didn't see that happening. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll fall on that sword if I have to. But yeah, I do like cryptocurrency because that basically protects your money. Now, the other thing about cryptocurrency is you got to find people who are willing to accept cryptocurrency as well. Yeah, there's a lot of people who believe in cryptocurrency.
Ether, we can be a bank for one another and get paid for doing it.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
And working at a bank, I wouldn't consider to be a weird specific job.
Majority of places that ship you packages don't actually give a shit about your packages.
Oh, no. You're talking about that like that should be a shock to people. Look, when I worked at a distribution center briefly, it was they expected you to work these shoots. They had like 1 shoot, 2 shoot, 3 shoot, 4 shoot, 5 shoot, 6 shoots. They put in X amount of parcels and things in there. They did it 9 times during the day, and they expected you to do it within a certain amount of time so they could get out faster. That's what they were really concerned about, is speed. And you were expected to get, some people order 8 or 9 things, that you'd get it. You read these things and match them up, make sure they were 100% correct, because you had the people picking them to make sure, and sometimes they'd pick them wrong. Well, you had to if you didn't, then you'd be pulling stuff out there, and then you'd have stuff there, and it would be overloaded. They were worried about speed, getting the stuff packaged and out the door. And they didn't really care what was in there as long as it was fast and out the door, because if it was wrong, you just return it and and have it redone. Okay, and so, yeah, I knew that.
They give a shit about production rate. Needless to say, majority of the stuff that you order is yeeted at terminal velocity into the...
And look, the majority of the stuff you probably order is probably accurate when you get it in the mail. Okay, whether it's clothing or a specific item, it's probably about, I won't say 90, 95%. I will say around that. Maybe a little bit less than that. Usually you do get what you order, but it's not perfect by any stretch.
The back of a tractor-trailer truck as fast as humanly possible. In the medical profession, every single time that there is a full moon, you will more than likely see every drug seeker that ever existed crawl out from under their rocks in order to attempt to get a fake prescription.
Well, that's something I didn't know, but thanks for the information.
And if you happen to work in the auto parts industry, they will literally call you every masculine name that they can come up with as fast as they can, so that they don't have to acknowledge the fact that you're a woman. Women are
that's something. Since I'm not a woman, I did not know that, but that's not right.
Actually more sexist than men. They will constantly ignore you going to any man because...
That is true. I have seen that before, where a woman will go to a man instead of a woman, or actually anybody will go to a man instead of a woman because they think they know more about auto parts than they do. But I know some women who are equally, if not more knowledgeable than men are on auto parts, and I'd have no problem going to them. But
God forbid they let you know that they don't know how to put on a wiper blade.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
Okay, so in a theatrical production, if you have a goat, like if you have one goat on stage in the show, you have to employ 3 goats because goats have separation anxiety. And so your goat that is on stage needs a friend. but then your friend goat needs his own friend for when the one goat is on stage. So you can never leave the goat alone unless they're like with their handler. So you always have to carry goats in 3 if you are doing a stage production.
Well, again, that's information I did not know. I am not planning on doing a stage production. I am not doing a stage production with goats, but if I do, that's good information. I appreciate that.
Hey, what's a random fact that only you know because of your weird specific job?
So I actually used to be an engineer at a sugar refinery. And if you're a vegan, you're not going to like the sound of this. So raw sugar crystals in the beginning start out with this sandy tan color.
Okay.
And then after being refined, it becomes this white color that you all know. How do we get white sugar from that sandy gold tan color? The secret is this, which is known as bone char. Bone char is basically cow bones that have been heated up to a very high temperature and then turned into a charcoal looking like this. Bone char basically acts as a filter or a decolorizer. Raw cane sugar has a lot of impurities. Large quantities of bone char basically remove those impurities. And once you remove those impurities, you get the white sugar. Bone char is...
Again, interesting information. Did not know that. Don't know if it matters a hell of beans, but hey.
Not an ingredient in your sugar. But it might have come in contact with your sugar, though.
Well, that's, again, information I did not know. Okay, this was rather interesting. Random fact that only you know because of your job. Well, I guess I learned a few things. Now, I don't know how much I buy into the banks, in Congress in 2020 making it, to more invest in more races. But again, I didn't dig that deep into it, to be fair. I haven't done any research on it. She may be 100% correct on that. Now, I do like cryptocurrency. I don't have a problem investing in cryptocurrency. It's one way to keep your money, away from the hands of the federal government. It is one way to do that. But hey, like I said, stuff I didn't know. This is a good video. Please click like, share, and subscribe. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks for watching the video.